All right, now
Okay.
let's hear. Let's hear
All
this.
right. So unfortunately, okay. Let me press got it here. Yeah, unfortunately, when I was in March, somebody tried to break into my home. And the very good news is I heard it. I came downstairs actually, and I think the person heard me. He tried to get in through a basement, and we talked about having the pyramids here for positive energy. Honestly, I believe, especially having them here in my house,
Mhm.
the crisis was averted, and the guy did not get past the door, whatever. I do think he might have made it in a little bit, but the very cool thing is they bring a lot of good things to our homes and a lot of energy. And I feel like having it here just kept that guy at bay, and I was safe. I was safe. So
Absolutely.
I'm thankful. Yeah. So that
Love.
energy is, yeah. See?
Yes,
Talking about things we
absolutely.
can explain. Yeah.
I love hearing stories from other people because I know what has happened in my life since I've started on this journey of, creating these organite Audronite pyramids, and but you're not never sure if other people are going to have the same experience or similar experiences. So I can only go by what people tell me, and I've heard so many different stories that one time I'm just going to do a video of just all of the stories that I've heard from people over the years about what has happened from the smallest things to the largest things, and it's just a great feeling to know that you're a part of something like this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And, I appreciate having that in the house. I think, well, it's such a, it's so neat to have that, that extra, that beautiful energy. I've even taken it to certain different parts of my house. Sometimes if I'm, sort of, I call it communicating. I don't call it praying, but, sometimes I have my beautiful space up in my attic, where I can go and look out and over the sky and stuff. I've already taken it with me when I've wanted answers for things, and
Yes.
so yeah, I love it.
Yes.
It's in my space.
I love it. This is what I tell people. The only thing I can say when they ask me, well, what happens, when I get one of your pyramids, and I just say, well, the best way I can say it is, what can go right will go right.
Amen to that.
That's it. So so if the scales are, kind of balancing not in your favor, I tell you, your pyramid is gonna tilt that scale right for you positive to you for you having positive energy and things going well. So that's just the way that I see it. It's just a energy thing, you
Yeah,
know.
I'm actually moving soon too, so I can't wait to take them to my new place. And I thought that's sort of, I'll actually take them to the, right in. And I thought, a friend of mine told me, whenever you take it, she has this tradition of when she moves, she will
Mhm.
take something, the first thing that she takes into the house or the apartment or whatever is very intentional. I said, well, take your pyramids, take them and let that be the first thing. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Let them know positive energy is coming in. you
Amen.
know Yes, yes, because so many
Yeah.
things are going on now. People are experiencing so many things. And I'm like, well, if your energy is right, you should be okay, with all the craziness that's going on. Because there's definitely
Yeah.
a battle going on here. That's for sure. That I don't think anyone can deny that something is going on right now.
Yeah.
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 So now let me see, Tahira, I'm really waiting on her. It's 4:11. Okay, I'll give her a few more minutes to come in. Let me text her. This is her platform, but she's under the weather today, but she wanted me to do the intros, which is fine. And maybe we'll have some people come in later because, like I said, this is going to be, we're taping it. So it's okay. Let me just see if she's coming on. She's usually here by now. Mhm. Yeah, I was telling Sharon about what the sky over my house on July 28th. I think that was Thursday. The weirdest sky I've ever seen ever.
Really? Wow. What
Yeah,
what
I,
was it like?
I don't worry, I have a video of it.
Oh, neat. Okay. I
Yeah,
have to
so
see
I
it.
don't even have to
Okay.
describe it. I'm gonna let you
Okay.
guys see it. Okay,
Okay.
let me see. Mhm. Yes. Let me see what she says. Yes, so yeah, it was quite an amazing experience. I mean, to see this because I be on TikTok a lot, right? Because that's where my people went from YouTube. And I see a lot of people's videos about things they're seeing in the sky and the weird skies and things of this nature. So I know it's happening all over. But for me, first time I've ever seen anything like this myself with my own eyes. And thank goodness we have these phones now that we can take pictures, whether they're the best pictures or not, you still see what I'm talking about. What the heck is that? So I'm trying to wait on Tahila
Is
to
that where
come.
you are on TikTok? You're on TikTok?
Yes, I'm on TikTok.
I'm not on TikTok. I
Girl,
can't even say it.
get
Every
on.
time I every time I go there's so much political stuff on there. It's
No,
just I'm not even sure how to use
okay.
it.
No. Here's what you do. Just get on TikTok and just
Uh-huh.
befriend me, right? Like
Okay.
send me or whatever, because
Uh-huh.
I don't have any videos on TikTok. I just
Uh-huh.
go watching TikToks and then I send them to people who I think are interested in these things, seeing all these things going on.
Oh,
If
okay.
you're not on TikTok, you don't really think anything's really happening. You know what I'm saying? No one's really talking
Uh-huh.
about it on the mainstream media and things of this nature, but you get on TikTok and it's like,
Hmm.
whoa, okay, explode.
Well, I'm not on mainstream media either.
Well, see
So
what I'm saying? So you don't know what the heck is going on. I'm
I
telling
don't know what's going on.
you. I'm telling you, yeah, because I thought that, TikTok was for the kids and whatever. And
Hmm.
then I don't know, something had happened in the news and I didn't get to hear anything. Oh, there's Tahila. And I didn't
Hmm.
get any information. So I said, well, let me go on TikTok because I had been hearing about it. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh, my people are here. This is it. This is the what? This is the platform. Everyone.
Oh, okay. I thought TikTok was for kids. I'm thinking about Twitter. I'm not on Twitter.
Oh, okay. So
Twitter have a whole lot of political stuff on
oh
there.
yeah, definitely.
So
Twitter is very
yeah, it's okay. TikTok. Okay.
yes, TikTok. And what I find amazing is that the name of the app. At first I thought, oh, a cute little name. Then I thought, TikTok.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, we're talking about time.
Time. Yep.
Time, like time is running out. Oh, wait a minute. Who is it running out for? You know what they say? So all of these like synchronicities of events and
Hmm.
the names of it, I just thought that was kind of interesting when you think about it in a different way,
Right. Right. Yeah.
that's really saying. So yeah, TikTok is the place to be if you know what you want. And you can ask
Hmm.
Tahila. Tahila can, oh no, I'm sorry, she's not feeling that well. So I don't want to get her on
Okay.
right now. But I send her a lot of things because she's on TikTok, you know.
Okay. Hmm.
Hopefully she, shares that with other people because we have to start, helping each other get this information. And since this is what I do all the time, I don't have any problem. If you're one of my people, I'm gonna send you some stuff that's gonna make you think
Okay.
and you make up your
Yeah.
own mind. That's what I'm saying. Let everybody
Right. Right.
sermon and what they see. I don't everything I send you, you may not, agree with, but it's just something
Mhm.
to think about the
Right.
possibility,
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah. So we're running, let's see what time is it. We're about, oh, here we go. Hello, Benita. Yeah, let's see. So it's 4:17. So I think maybe we'll give them 3 minutes, 4:20, then I'll just kind of start and first of all show you the video. Tahila, if you could hear me, I was telling them about a video. Oh, I think I sent you that video on WhatsApp. The video of what was happening around my house on the 28th of this month. Very, very weird skies. And I had the opportunity to take a video of it. And that's what I wanted to show. I wanted to show you guys this video and see what you think this is or what it could possibly be. Because it's for sure not the sun doing whatever was happening up there. And I don't know what it is, but I caught it on video. So I just want to show you that. And let me see. Yes, I'm going to show that start at 4:20. Yeah, a couple more minutes. But yeah. And other than that, I mean, people have been seeing so many different things and weird, I mean, auras and people seeming like you can see through them. It's really, really weird. I'm like, what is going on? And these things are really happening to people. So get on TikTok, guys. Yes. Oh, Tahila says, yes, she got it. That was crazy. Yeah, I'm going to see two. Oh, two, really? Oh, okay. So you saw something, Benita? You saw something 2 years ago? I've seen a couple of UFOs I got on tape years ago also. But this what I saw was crazy. I was like, what is that? And for my kids to have even seen it, or to get their attention, I said, okay, well, you know, this is something for real. So let me see. One more minute, then I'm gonna put that video up. We got to start with this crazy video, and then we can move on from there. Wow, do you still have the video of what you posted, Benita, 2 years ago? And this, like the viewers on around 718. Yes. Oh, it's on Facebook. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to check it out then. Definitely gonna check that out. And I see Lisa's here. Hi, Lisa.
Hello. So sorry I'm late. I was just
Oh, hi, no worries at all. As you see, there aren't many of us here right now, but that's okay because we're recording it all. And so, you know, once we're done, I'll put it up on YouTube because the information, you know, the things that we were talking about is just people need to know these things, whether they know it or not, or at least start thinking about a lot of the things that we talk about on this platform.
wonderful. Happy to be here.
Yes. Okay, so I said we're going to officially just start at 4:20, and you will just move on as people come in. Good afternoon. My name is Audrey Rumbers, and I am the creator of Audrey and I Pyramids, and I am here on Tahila Talks to speak about quantum physics and the human body. If you heard me talk before, you know my background, that I worked on the Large Hadron Collider, ALICE specifically, that's built at the at CERN in Geneva, Switzerland, and all of the crazy things they're doing with the science there. So I worked there and I worked with Thomas Cormier, who just passed in March, who was a major person in the development and the building of the ALICE Collider, which is part of the Large Hadron Collider at CERN. So I've had a lot of experience with a lot of quantum physicists, and my mind has just been totally blown so many times that it's just in a state of perpetual like this, you know, because things never stop happening. And so we've been talking about quantum physics, what they're doing at CERN. We talk about AI. We talk about what is happening. I think that we are in a black hole, but that's just my opinion. Other people have other opinions of what exactly has happened. But it is what it is. I think we can all just agree something's happened and we're not in the same place that we used to be. So I kind of want to continue the conversation because I think quantum physics is such an important part of what's happening now that we have to get a grasp of this concept so we can understand how we can manipulate it to our benefit and not just kind of look at it as an observer, you know, and actually be a participant in all of this energy that's coming forth and being revealed to us. So now I you know, we've talked about the Large Hadron Collider and what they're doing there, and moving on to AI and how they're building this new type of person and things of that nature. But now all of these things for me are connected. And when you think about, you know, AI and what they're doing, and it looks so, you know, unbelievable and fantastic the technology that they're able to utilize to create these new beings. But I think it's important for us to understand what quantum physics means to us as physical beings, and what would be the difference in the sense between an artificial intelligent being and us, because they want us to believe that these artificially intelligent beings that they're creating are superior to us as humans. They'll tell that to you. I showed the video on the last Zoom of Audrey Rumbers, the physicist, talking about AI, and the way he talks about it is it can be very scary, because the way he speaks about it is it's as if the AI that they are developing will basically just take over. There's basically just take over, and we will be at their mercy. And this is basically what they are telling us, like straight out, without any kind of, obfuscation or anything like that. It's just, this is where we're going. And I said, well, that can't be possible. So there must be something that they aren't telling us. And that's what we're going to talk about as far as what we're made of and how does quantum physics connect with that. So that's what I want to talk about today. But before we get into that, let me show you this video. Okay, let me say this really quickly again. On July 28th, I was sitting outside early in the day. I was looking at the clouds on the right side of the sky, and it looked like wispy clouds over the whole sky. And I thought, darn, that looks weird. But I'm used to looking at weird stuff in the sky happening. It's like, oh, another weird cloud day, whatever. And then later on that day, that night, that evening, like at 9 o'clock, my grandkids were outside playing with the little boy across next door, and I heard them say, "What's that?" And I'm looking at them through the window, and they're looking up in the same area that I saw the weird sky. So I'm like, well, wait a minute, let me go out here. So I went outside to see what they were looking at. This is what I saw. Let me show you. Do the slide share. Okay. Now look at this.
I saw that too.
Did you? Who said that?
I did. Lisa.
Lisa. Okay.
I saw that too.
Okay.
And it was the same, I'm sorry, let me just quickly interject. The same day, my friend Danielle asked if I noticed anything weird with the trees. And I replied, no, but I did see something weird with the sky.
Okay.
And I saw that.
Did you see this?
Yes, I did. And I'm all the way in New York.
Okay. All right, guys. Let me. I'm sorry, I have my kids because they were outside playing, so kind of ignored. Oh, let me see. I can take the volume off. There we go. So you don't have to hear them. Okay. Now let's just watch this video. What is that? This is right over my mom's house, right there. Now, some people would say, oh, Audrey, that's the sun, or somehow that's the sun, because it's like 9 o'clock, the sun was setting, but it wasn't even in the direction of where the sun sets. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, did you guys see that? I mean, I thought that was the craziest. It was, I've never seen anything like that before. And I kept trying to figure out, it's not the sunset, because it was like in the southwest corner of the sky. And I know, because when I'm doing my pyramids, I'm always checking for where the sun is, during the day. And the sun during the summertime, it does not set that far south. It's like kind of in the middle, it just goes right overhead. But this was something orange. It was big, and it was just I had never seen anything like that. So I want to know if anyone else has seen anything.
I saw that. It was very orange and and a hint of purple. I don't know if you saw any
Yes,
purple in yours,
yes, I
but I
did.
mean,
The stripes.
true purple.
Looks
That
like
was bizarre to me. I'm always looking up. And when Danielle asked if I noticed anything weird with the trees, I said, no, I didn't notice anything weird with the trees, but I see something really weird with the sky. And that's what I saw. It was like blood orange with like
oh
some
my
hints of purple. And I
goodness, you
thought that was
saw
strange because
this. I am so happy you saw it. And I can't, you saw this in New York. Because I was wondering, where is that? I mean, it's just, I can't even explain it. And you know, for the kids to be outside, for children to be outside and look up and say, what's that? And it's the sky. And I asked my granddaughter later on, I said, well, what did you see when you looked up? And she just said, it was just swish, 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 swish. That's all she said. Because with these different colors, it's like these rays, you know. And so today, when I went out and I looked, and the clouds was weird again, all that wispiness was there. And then later on, the clouds just became perfect. They're just perfect. And it's just a perfect sky. And I'm like, oh, did it make new clouds? I mean, I'm just confused. I'm really confused, but basically, yeah, that's what I saw. So that was my experience on Thursday. I just wanted to bring that up for you guys to, you know, kind of see what you think about that. Okay, but so now we're going to go on to talk about what I really wanted to talk about, which is quantum physics and us. And first of all, I want to start off by telling you something that I told to my boss, Thomas Premier, when I was working with him, when I was trying to figure out, you know, what is this quantum physics, you know, because like I said, it's very counterintuitive to the way that we usually think of things. So it's kind of hard to get your mind to kind of start, you know, thinking differently in a different way. And so I was thinking about it, and then I finally came up with the way that I could understand it. And it had to be very, very simple. You know, I believe in just having a foundation that's, you know, simplistic, that you can build up in complexity, because I think that's the way the world is made, like that. So when I was thinking about quantum physics, I kept trying to get simpler and simpler. And then I came up with this idea. It's like, ah, I see it. I get what he's saying, you know, what they're saying when they're trying to explain the concept of this being something, two things at the same time, or being where there's no space, in the sense that, you know, you can be anywhere at any time without time passing. So it's called non-locality. There's just no time. It just is. It's just only one time. And it's just hard for me to figure it out. So it came to me, and this is the way it came to me. And I had my cousin do a diagram for me. This is exactly what I pretty much drew from my boss when I went in his office. I went in his office and I said, Tom, I think I understand quantum physics now. And I guess he was like, oh, really? You know? And I said, yeah. And so I went up to the blackboard, and I made an X. And I'm going to show you how this is the way this went here. Oh, wait a minute, I got to share my screen. Okay. Now, please bear with me for a minute. Just try to kind of let your imagination, you know, run with this, and just, you know, just think about what I was saying. So first of all, I drew this X, and he says, okay, that's an X. I say, no, that's not the point. Then I put a dot. You see that dot in the middle? I said, that's the point. Now here, this is what I'm saying. Imagine that's you. You're the dot, right? In the center of the X, you're the dot. Now, from your perspective, from that dot, wherever you are, when you look down, things are going to get smaller, right? So when you look down, if you look down and you see an ant, your size in comparison to that ant is astronomical. I mean, the ant can't even conceive of the size of you from its perspective, right? So at that point, you are huge, gigantuous. I mean, just unbelievably large to that ant. Now, if you take it smaller than that, and if you keep looking down, 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 your perspective is going down. If you look at the perspective, the size of a atom. Now, in comparison to the atom, that ant is huge, just like you are in comparison to the ant, but nothing has changed. Your size hasn't changed. The ant's size hasn't changed. The only thing has changed is your perspective. So if you keep looking down, 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 as you notice, you'll get to smaller and smaller things, right? And the smaller things that you look at, the further you look down, the larger you get. So that's us looking down. So I'm saying, okay, so I'm looking down, down, down. I'm looking down past the ant. I'm looking down past the atom, and then I'm looking down to the proton. Okay, these not that size, the size of proton. Then I'm big as the cosmos when we're talking about, you know, the size of comparing my size to the size of a proton or even an atom, anything on that atomic level. So here's the thing. You keep looking down and you get larger and larger, but all you have to do is change your perspective and look up from wherever point you are. It doesn't matter. Once you look up, you immediately become small. You immediately, without changing your size, without doing anything, just by your perspective, you look small. You look tiny. You look up, you say, if you look up the size of the earth, you look at you, you're like what? The size of an ant, maybe not even an ant when you think about scale, as an ant compared to your size. So when you're looking up, you're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The further you look up, the smaller you get. Same thing, the further you look down, the larger you get. So you are two things at the same time. You're large and you're small. Now, here's the thing. When I told this to my boss, he says, oh, but the thing is, there's something called Planck scale. And they say that nothing can get smaller than Planck scale, right? And if you look there, it says the Planck's length is about 100 million trillion times smaller than a proton. That's something we can't even imagine. We really, you can't imagine something that's 100 million trillion times smaller than a proton, but yet they're saying those are things that are that small. And you get into something that's called quarks and gluons, which are what protons are made of. Now, if a proton, if the Planck scale is 100 million trillion times smaller than a proton, then that means that we're talking about the things that protons are made of. And the things that protons are made of are like quarks and gluons. And that's when we get into quantum physics. When you get into things that small, things get fuzzy, the laws of physics break down. We don't know what's happening at that scale. But the thing is, what I'm saying is that when you put that X and you look up and you look down and you see that you're both gigantic and small at the same time, that to me represents the infinity symbol, because I realized that all you have to do is close in the ends of the X and you have the infinity symbol. And if you see the infinity symbol, there's no beginning and there's no end. So what I'm trying to say is, the way I see quantum physics is that small, the quantum is the large and the large is the small. The macro and the micro are the same thing. If you just keep going down, you're going to end up huge. And if you keep going up, you're going to end up tiny, but you're still from that same perspective. Is you haven't changed at all. It's just the way you view yourself. So even in just our regular lives, we are actually having a quantum effect of being two things at the same time, large and small, just by our perspective. So if you just think about, everything is about how you see it. That's what quantum physics is. The observer affects the experiment. We affect things that are outside of us, whether we know it or not. So I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but it was the way for me to make sense of something being two different things at the same time without anything changing, besides the perspective, how you look at it, because that's what quantum physics tells us. You viewing something, looking at something changes it. It just does. So that I just kind of wanted to put out there because it helped me to understand the idea of quantum physics. And okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing that. And guys, if you have any questions, please just stop me because I will go on and on. Just because I'm so fascinated by this, and when you find your life being affected by these things, you can't help but want to know more and try to utilize this energy. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to understand it so I can utilize the energies that are available to us to benefit us. So when we're talking about quantum physics and in the human body, right? And what does that mean? Because quantum physics is so weird. We don't see this being a part of us. Like this is us. We feel like it's outside of us. And I just want to bring it in. I want you to see these quantum effects in your own body so that you can understand that it's not outside, it's inside. The quantum effect is inside of us. That's why I call quantum physics spirit science, because it's the science that goes beyond the physical. It goes into what we would normally call metaphysics, which they told us was not real. But now quantum physics is basically confirming the concepts of metaphysics, right? And they're just saying it in a different way, but you're saying the same thing, like alchemy. You know, alchemy used to be thought of as something that, oh, that was, something they used to say back in the day, or wives' tales or myth or whatever you want to call it. But now with quantum physics, alchemy is very much something that's, doable in this area of study. You can change the actual molecular structure of something, without putting anything in or taking anything out. It's just the way that you think of it. And another way that I thought of alchemy, I always try to relate these concepts to my own life, so it makes it, where I can understand it better. And I know for like one of the things about me is that I have two siblings, a brother and a sister, and they both have middle names. I'm the youngest. And for some reason, my mother decided not to give me a middle name. Now, that bugged me for many, many years because I couldn't understand, why would you have 3 children and then the last one you would just say, never mind, she doesn't need a middle name. So it's just always bugged me, like, why did you do that? And every time I write something out or a form or something, they ask for that middle name. Oh, here comes that issue again. I don't have a middle name. Everyone else does. And so I started thinking about alchemy and like, okay, how can you like take something that you don't like and flip it into something that you do? Because you would think, well, no, you can't, because it is what it is. But I said, wait a minute, it's about how you think about it. So I said, how can I think about this differently in order to make it work for me? And then I said, okay, instead of saying, oh, why didn't you give me a middle name? Or, you didn't think enough of me to give me one, or things like that, the way I used to do when I was, would think about it. I said, oh, okay, I'll think of it like this. I didn't get a middle name because I didn't need one. I didn't need one. It was enough. I was enough. And it was like, don't worry about it. And the moment I just started thinking about it differently, nothing changed. I didn't get a new middle name. I didn't go and, change my name. None of that happened. The only thing that happened is I decided to think of it differently. And once I thought of it differently, everything changed. Everything changed just like that. I started being happy about the fact that I didn't have one. Then I started saying, oh, I think I'm the only one in the family, my extended family, that doesn't have a middle name. Oh, that must mean because I didn't need a middle name. You're good just the way you are. That's for the other people. And that to me is a form of alchemy. You see, it doesn't have to be the way that you think of it. You have to think of it in more ways than the original way that you thought of it, like, changing lead to gold. It's still the same thing. You're taking a negative thing and you turn it into a positive thing just by the way you think about it. And that's a part of what quantum physics is about. It's the way that you think about things that can change the whole situation, or, the whole outcome of whatever is going on. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's not so much that we have to learn something new. We just have to learn a new way of thinking about things that have been here forever. you know, and that's why I want to talk about quantum physics and the human body, because I don't think a lot of times we even think about how our bodies work, why it works. We just here, we just come here with it. This is it. And we just do what we do. But if we start to investigate and really start thinking about ourselves, our body as something to study, you know, or to understand, then you'll start finding out so many amazing things about your body that goes on, that there really isn't any classical physics explanation to explain, right? So if they can't explain it, then they will, you know, call it something else. Like for instance, junk DNA. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but that was something that for many years they would tell us that in our bodies, we have something called junk DNA that's just laying in our bodies like leftovers. And I kind of picture it like they're saying that there are things that happen through our evolution, and we have like a closet. And when something's not, you know, working, we just put it in this closet. So all of us have this closet of stuff that we don't need in our, and they call it junk DNA, and we just stuff it in that closet and it's just there. And I just thought, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because if you look at the way that the entire world works, how nature works, there's never any junk closet. You know, I mean, it just, nature does not have a junk closet. Whatever it is, nature is going to make use of it and find a way to transform it into something else and things of that nature. Because if you think about out in the wild, right, and you have all of these animals and things dying, large animals, elephants, lions, whatever it is, but yet you don't go, you know, into the wild and you find you know, just dead carcasses laying all over the place where you know, animals have died, because nature has a way of saying, okay, you know, I know this is going to happen, so now we're going to have this way of taking care of that with no problem. So to think that we have in our bodies that nature did not also have that kind of, you know, a system going on, it doesn't make any sense. So that's when I started really studying junk DNA. And now they don't even call it junk DNA, because they started to study it and they realized, oh, wait a minute, you know, this is not some leftover evolution going on here. There's something else happening here. And what they found out is that this, what they call junk DNA, was actually different DNA from our usual DNA that's coded by proteins. I don't know if you know how our DNA is created, but it's a protein thing. That's another kind of quantum quantified system that goes on in our body all the time that we don't, you know, really pay attention to. But this non-coded DNA, it doesn't work like our regular DNA does. It works like a computer. It works like computer code. It's unbelievable what they're saying. Basically, to me, it sounds like our junk DNA is our higher spiritual self connecting us to our spirituality or our abilities that has to be activated. And once it's activated, I believe that it takes us to a higher level. But like, you know, that's just my assumption about that. But even if that's not true, still there are many quantum concepts that are involved in our bodies, right? And one of the main things that they talk about is our consciousness, and how quantum physics can explain some of the things that are unexplainable that goes on in our minds, that's unexplainable by the classical physics model, you know, because we're going deeper than physical particles now. We're getting into something that it's not a thing. And science has always told us that everything was a thing. But now they're like, well, wait a minute, no, everything is not a thing. And that's why it was so hard for them to describe what's going on in our consciousness, because it's not a thing, you know. But quantum physics is, now they're saying that now that they're understanding quantum physics, that those concepts can explain the things that go on with our consciousness and things of that nature, because it's not of this dimension. I'm not quite sure how to say that, but it's something else going on besides the physical, right? And so with our minds, and we can kind of understand that because we've heard that before, you know, that the mind was not your brain, you know, and where does it come from? We've had those kind of discussions. But I say we can talk about the mind, but I say also there are other ways that we can see the quantum effect in our own bodies. And one of the main other ways that I see that we can see that we are quantum beings is through our conception. And I don't think that we even think about our conception, like what is actually happening when we are conceived, right? Right after conception, right after that spark of life, you know, flicks on and it starts the cell to divide. Now, I thought about this for so long because I'm like, the thing that used to just blow my mind is that you have one cell, and from that one cell, it just divides. That's what creates our bodies. One cell that's been fertilized, right? That's the egg. And then it just divides, and it just divides, and it just divides, and it just divides. And that's all it does, is just divide until you come up with us. So you would have to ask yourself, if you only have one cell and they're just dividing, how do they know what to be? You know, and those, and let me say that those, that one cell that everything comes from, those, that's a stem cell. And a stem cell is different than your regular cells. A stem cell is an amazing thing, because I don't know if you know that a stem cell, which is the very beginning cells when we are first conceived, can be any cell, right? So it just needs a certain message to tell it what to be. So who tells it that message? Okay, we can get off into that. Who tells us how to make our own body? But the bottom line is that when it's being made, it's just dividing, 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 dividing. And if you think about that, for this to be true, that means that each and every cell in our body has the ability to be any cell in our body. Any cell in our body, it can make another human being, because every cell has the blueprint, right? And then from the very beginning, when they're first dividing, they're stem cells that can be anything. And those stem cells then are divided, and then they become leg, arm, heart, muscle. All of these different types of cells come from one. That's the concept of quantum physics. Everything comes from one thing. It's the same thing. Everything is one. They call it a unified field. We're all connected. Just like all of the cells in your body are connected, but it's not necessarily necessary that your toe cell is going to know what your arm cell is doing. But that doesn't matter, because they're working in concert, even if they don't even acknowledge or know of each other's existence. And that's the same thing with us. We're in this unified field of people, and we think that we're disconnected. But in actuality, when you get down on a quantum scale, we're all connected. There is no separation. But yet we're different people with different, you know, qualities and whatever. But that doesn't mean we aren't connected, just because we don't know that we're connected, because we don't see the connection. The way things work is telling us that we're all connected. And when I mean the way things work, I mean when we have our intuition, when we know certain things without someone telling us, when, you know, you think about someone and then they call you, all of these things that are happening are like quantum physics concepts. They aren't physics concepts, because physics says you're here, you got point A, you got point B, you got this, you know, there's locality, there's space in between things, there are differences. But in quantum physics, it says, no. In actuality, it's just one, just perceiving itself in different ways, right? Just like our body is one, but our cells are perceiving themselves in different ways in order to function as a whole. But, you know, the fact that you can have one cancer cell in a body of trillions of cells, and one cell can go out of whack and can affect the entire body to the point that it can actually bring the body down after the processes that it goes through, you know, cancer cells go through of growing. So what I'm saying is that if we start looking at ourselves differently, we can start seeing the quantum effects of us being able to do unbelievable things that we just don't think about. I mean, just the simple things that your body does is like mind blowing if you think about it. Even the way that your DNA is created, your DNA constantly is being recopied, right? Recreated, but it's being copied frontwards and backwards. You have to see the animation of how DNA is created, not the junk DNA or the non-coded DNA, that's special DNA. I'm talking about just our regular DNA and how it copies itself. Because you think you know, okay, I know it's copying itself, but it's copying itself forwards and backwards. And to me, that means that you're going back in time and forward in time at the same time that your DNA is being duplicated. And I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone else, but if you see the animation, which I've seen about, I don't know, 40 times because I'm so fascinated by the way things are created, it's the same concept. We're doing quantum things and we don't even realize it. But I think once we start understanding what we have within our own bodies, then we can do things that we never imagined. And getting back to, that brings me back to AI, because the abilities that they are building into these AI technology, you know, where they're saying they're so much smarter than us. I'm saying no, because we haven't even tapped into who we really are, what we're made of, what makes this form what it is. And I think once we tap into that, we will be able to see that AI is something that doesn't have, it can be a smart, you know, smart as it wants to be. I understand that, but what it doesn't have is that spark. It doesn't have that soul. That's what we have. So it doesn't matter how, you know, technologically advanced AI is, there's something missing. So what I'm saying is that we have to see ourselves as not just physical beings, but we are spiritual beings. And I think that this battle that's going on, I think the physical playing field is their playing field. We can't win on that playing field. They got that covered. They got the AI, they got their technology, they got all of these things on their side. But for us, I think this is what the controllers and the people who are trying to, you know, take us down this road of being interconnected with technology. I think they understand what's in us. And I think that they understand that our dependence on technology is what's kind of keeping us back from expanding our own abilities to do things that we had no idea that we could do. And what makes me happy about this is that on TikTok, my favorite platform right now, I see a lot of these young people who are tapping in, who are actually beginning to see what we can actually do. See, AI is good on the physical. Yes, the brains are smart and all of that, but on the spiritual plane, they have nothing on you. They have nothing on us. They can't even tap into that plane, you see, because they were created by man, but we were created by something else. And that's as long as we, like I said, it's all in how you perceive yourself. If you perceive yourself to be a weak human, who these AI are so smart and it's gonna come take you over, then yep, that's pretty much what's gonna happen. But if you understand your own abilities and understand that nothing on this physical plane can touch you on a quantum level, nothing, because you are able to create that, you see. So you had that ability to create something. I keep saying it, the creation can never be better than the creator. That doesn't happen. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm saying if we can create AI at this level of understanding the power within ourselves, it's just as human beings, if we can create this type of technology, what happens when we tap into who we really are? And these young people on TikTok, that's why I encourage you guys to get on TikTok, and not just for, you know, I mean, it's a cute little, you know, stuff on there, but the main thing is they're talking about some really serious things that you're not going to see. They have serious abilities that they want you to think is CGI and Photoshop. I said, no, it's not. Not in this era. That's not what's happening. These are real things that are happening, just like the things that we're seeing in the skies. All of this is real. This is a different time. And I'm saying, if you're not ready to unlock all of the power that you have inside of you at this time, then I don't know what to say. Because, it's so much evidence out here to tell us that we need to start looking inward and seeing these abilities and these gifts that we are born with, that are God-given gift that no one can give to us and no one can take away. It's just all about, do we want to utilize these things? And I'm saying, in order to utilize them, you have to recognize that you actually have them. And a lot of us are recognizing that we actually have them. It's just like in the movie Lovecraft Country, there was an episode of I Am. I don't know if you guys watched that, but it was really, really a good series. And at one point she said, I realize that I'm in a new world. This is what the one of the characters was saying. She says, I realize I'm in a new world and I have to face it head on and stake my claim in it. And that's what I think we have to do with this new world. We have to accept that this is a different place than what our parents were in, or our grandparents. It's a whole different reality. And instead of being fearful about it or concerned, I think we should concentrate on how we can use these new energies to our benefit. And understand that we have the ability to do that, because our bodies are a quantum machine. And quantum physics, it's not confined to time and space. It's all about what you think, what you perceive is real. Perception is reality. So we perceive ourselves to be gods who have the abilities of a god, then we have that ability. We just do, because I just don't know how to explain, because all you have to do is just look around you, but look around you with different eyes. Look around you, as they say, as a child. And you think your body. In actuality, we really don't, because we don't study it. We just do it. It just does what it does. But if you start thinking about it, really just small things. And I think Lisa and I were speaking one day, and she was telling me how she found it amazing how our hair grows, or a strand of hair is. Lisa?
Yes, it's pretty amazing. I'm no quantum expert, but I did study the anatomy of hair, and I had to teach it. So I have a pretty good understanding of how one single strand of hair works. And that little teeny tiny thing, there's so much, it's like a whole universe happening in one single strand of hair.
Absolutely. And you wouldn't know that unless you study cosmetology, in that way. So what I'm saying is, we have to get out of our specialty and just look at ourselves as a whole, and just think about it. Think about all the things that your body does. Like my grandkids, they're out there playing and whatever. And of course, when kids play, they're gonna, hurt themselves, scrape their knees, and and they come to me crying. I'm telling them, your body's just gonna heal itself. Don't worry about it. I'm telling yourself right now, as we're sitting here, as you're crying to me, your body's like, oh, there's something wrong. Let me go fix that. So that they understand that it's not about the medicine that you're getting. That's your body's ability to heal. It doesn't need anything else in most cases, really in all cases, if we know how to control our thoughts. So I'm just saying, there's different ways that we have to start seeing things, and we have to start teaching things to our children, so that they will have more of an open mind and ready to embrace these new concepts of who they are and what they can do. So I want to see if anyone has any questions at this point. I'm sorry, let me see. Yeah, so you guys have any questions about this, or any experiences anyone has had? Because I could go on.
I just want to say, Audrey, that I love the way you broke down the micro and the macro. Looking down, you're huge, but looking up, you're so small. And that's a fact I think that we can all see. You
Yeah,
know, you don't even need a telescope or a microscope
exactly.
to make that connection. I love the way you broke that down. Thank you.
Yeah, because I just think that we have to start simplifying things, in order to understand them, and just looking at them with different eyes. Because now when I think about myself, this body, I don't feel that I'm this body. I feel that I'm using it. Whereas before I felt that I was it. And when it dies, I was gonna die with it. But now when I started to understand that, oh no, I'm totally separate from this. I'm so much more than this body. This body is like my regular computer. Like, this is my regular computer. But my mind and other parts are like my quantum computer. It's like, how much information can you keep in your brain? Is there a limited amount of space? No, it isn't. You can put as much in there as you want. You may not be able to bring it forth as quickly as you would, would if you didn't have so much you were thinking about. But it doesn't matter, because it's just like cyberspace. How much information can you fit in cyberspace? As much as you want. And that's the way our brains are. Well, that's not a physical thing, because physical space has limitations and boundaries, but our minds don't. So that lets you know the quantum aspects of our everyday lives. It's just in the way that we think, but we just don't see it that way. But I think once we start to see ourselves and really think, wow, this is really something, this thing that I have here, this is the way this thing works, is like, it's AI has nothing on this, the way this works. I mean, AI is good, don't get me wrong, and they can take over for sure if we allow it. But I'm saying it doesn't have to happen. It's just something that can happen depending on how we see ourselves. So we have to start like relating to quantum physics on an intimate, in an intimate way, instead of seeing it as outside of ourselves. And that's what I think a lot of my talks I like to get across to people, that it's inside of you. It's you. When you're talking about quantum physics on a quantum level, that things get strange. When you look at a quantum level, they're talking about things get strange when they look inside of you and look inside of me, because this is what we're all made of. But we're just not taught to think that way about ourselves. And I think it's just important for us to really, really, really start changing the way we see things. And that's the way that we're going to change what's happening out there in the world, is to understand what's going on inside of us. Because we think of ourselves as separate from everyone else, but in actuality, that's like saying the toe cell is different from the leg cell or the brain cell, and it's not disconnected. It's all connected, and it's working in unison. And when it's working well, it's beautiful. But when it's not, then we have problems. But those problems of the body can be solved. The problems of our society can be solved just in the way that we think, because no matter what happens, thought is always first. Always first. Before anything physical can happen, it starts with a thought. So if we change our thoughts, we change everything. But it's so simple. It just seems like it can't be that easy. I'm like, well, yeah, it can be. I told you, I just switched that up about my name. Just like that. Something that had bothered me for years. And just thinking about it in a different way made it all like, oh, that's a good thing. So why can't we do that with other parts of our lives? Once you understand that we have the ability, that's what I'm saying. Why are we not taking that concept and internalizing it and then, using it to our benefit? The only reason why we're not is because we don't think we can. But I'm saying, if you understand how unbelievable your mind is and your body is, then you realize that you have a lot more power than you ever thought that you had. And the only thing that you have to do is tap into it. And once again, I'll direct you to TikTok, because that's where I'm seeing these things manifest. And I'm seeing these younger people who don't have all of the baggage, you know, or the indoctrination that a lot of people, you know, older people have, that they're more open to seeing what's inside of them. And they are, I'm talking telekinesis, clairvoyance, all of these things are happening right now. And it's amazing. And it's a wonderful time to be alive. And if you don't think so, it's just, you just don't understand, because people are telling me, oh, Audrey, there's so many bad things going on. I said, well, bad things are always going on. You know, there was never a time when bad things weren't happening. Wars, you know, just all the sorts of things that are going on. So that's nothing new. That's nothing new. The new part is us. The new is us. The new is our perceiving ourselves in a different way and taking some of those limitations that have been put on us year after year after year since we were a child, and start to break away from those things and start to let our minds be free. And when once you start to tap in, then the universe said, okay, you're ready now. And it will start sending you, because everything is connected, even though you think it's not. But if you'll notice, when you start getting on a certain route, you know, certain path, that somehow things, synchronicities happen, things just come to you, people just come to you. That is not by accident. That is because this is all connected. It's all connected. So everything that we do affects everything else. And when you have that different perspective of things, then it changes you physically, in the sense that it changes what you do with this physical body that you have now, once you change the way you perceive it. So I don't know if anyone else has ever had a, you know, experience where you've changed how you perceive something that has changed something in actual reality. But you know, let me know. Anything, any questions, any comments? Oh, okay. She sent the video. I can screen share. Okay. She's gonna screen share. Okay, let me see. Let me go here. Share screen. Oh, Tahila, okay, let me see. I'm trying to figure out how I let you share your screen. I can share my screen, but I thought I should see. Hold on. Did this before. Who can share? Here we go. So everyone. Okay. So I've got it now where Tahila, you could share the video. Where's she at? Oh, there you are. If you want to share that video you have there. I don't know if you're still there. Anyway, I was going to give her a chance to say something that I'm seeing in the chat. That I want to see the video, but we'll get to see that. So basically, I'm just trying to reiterate that we have abilities that we are not familiar with, and we need to start tapping in, because this is our time. And you have to understand who you are in order to understand how to manipulate this new reality that we find ourselves in to our benefit. And I think we all have, and I'm sure we've all had experiences. So if anyone has any experience that they would like to share, I would appreciate it, so that it's not like it's just me, because it's definitely not just me. I know that. You wouldn't be here if it was just me. Ladies.
Audrey, I'm so sorry, honey. I was trying to share, and it's not allowing me to do it for some reason. I'm gonna keep trying while you guys are talking, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Because I switched the settings, so you should be able to share, but I'm not sure. I don't really use Zoom that much. But yeah, okay. So anyone else have any anything to share, any comments about what I said, any questions?
Audrey, can I share?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I think Tahila is trying to share the video that I sent to her.
Yes.
So my entire life is exactly what you have been speaking on. But just recently, the other day, I'm in Belize, and the video she's going to share is from when I was still in the States and we were on lockdown. And I'm one that don't listen to anybody, basically. So I was out at night, riding around, looking at the sky, doing whatever I wanted to do, basically, because I had that pass because I was a nurse. Well, I am a nurse. So we were able to still be out and about while everybody was on lockdown. And the things that were going on in the sky, man, no one believed me. Nobody believed me. And even the video, it's like people are commenting on it. This was 2 years ago. And around the same time this year, a lot of activity, the same activity, I was seeing those videos of that same thing around the same time, around July the 18th, 16th, 17th, 18th. So I don't know if a portal had opened and that activity is high. But 2 years ago, they were saying it was a comet. No, it was not a comet at all. But a couple of days ago, this heat is everywhere. And I wanted to get some yard work done. So I went outside and I just told the clouds that I needed them. It was like, I need y'all to shield me for a good hour so I can get some work done out here. And within about 30 seconds, the clouds moved over and shielded the sun for exactly 1 hour for me to be able to get some work done. And what's funny is my daughter was in town. I'm in a village, and she went down to town to a festival. And she said, Mom, it was so hot. And because I was telling her what happened, she said, I said the same thing, and I bet you it was around the same time. She said, because within minutes, the clouds moved for me and we had shade.
Yeah. I mean, we have the ability to do these things. And what the only reason why it's, are you sharing? Okay, are you sharing?
Yeah, this is it.
Okay, let's see.
And y'all, I'm not tech savvy. I wasn't then, and I'm trying to learn, but, but that, yeah. So I don't think she has the sound on, but that dot in the right corner, that was it.
Oh.
So, but I'm going to, this was an old camera, because I had to run in the house and grab the camera, like, whoa, wait a minute. So it's about to show it though. So I'm trying to figure out the camera. And so that dot right there moving around. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing a lot of that now. People are seeing this and how it was, when I say jumping and moving and flashing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and these things have been happening for years. For years. I saw my first one in 2012, I think. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was the time when we had the, what was that I used? It was some kind of video recorder. It wasn't a phone back then. It was some type of little device that we could do videos on. And then we were seeing these same things. I mean, there's so much evidence out here. It's ridiculous, you know. And
when you look at that, it almost looks like a cell itself.
It looks like a what?
A cell. A human cell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cell. It's a cell. Exactly. It does. It absolutely does. The cell is an amazing thing. Boy, we only knew what our bodies was like. We said, what is
It's absolutely amazing. I've been healing for the last 2 years over here. And when I tell you it is, our bodies are amazing if we allow it to just do what it's supposed to do. Like, we add so many things that harm the body and causes the body to fight against us. Like, we fighting against ourselves and trying to preserve us, you know, with the foods that we eat, what we watch, what we listen to, just everything, what we put on our bodies. Mm-hmm. So it's in rising to our higher self, our highest self, we need to be cleansing all that crap out, because our cells can't do what they're supposed to do in the condition that most of us are in right now. Yeah. It's possible. It's
But
impossible.
now let me say something about that, because I agree with you to a certain extent. But then when I think about how amazing the body is and the things that I've seen, I'd be like, Jesus, is there anything that with our minds that we cannot control? Now I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean by this. My sister has sarcoidosis, right? And she's had sarcoidosis for many years, like she was diagnosed back in 2010. In the meantime, she's had cancer, but we handled that. So that was another thing. But okay, but she still had sarcoidosis. Her sarcoidosis has been getting worse. She's had all of these steroids, breathing treatments, medicines, you know, all of the things that the pharmaceutical companies can come up with to, you know, to give you. And so she, you know, she's been dealing with it, but it's been getting progressively worse. And about 3 months ago, my aunt's funeral, my sister was at her worst. I'm saying where she basically was wheelchair bound. She couldn't do anything without losing her breath and things of this nature. And so her doctors finally told her, you know, you're like the end stage of this respiratory, you know, condition. And the only thing left for you is a lung transplant. So my sister's like, oh gosh, you know, don't want a lung transplant, but you know, I still want to live, you know, whatever. So it's just the last hope, you know, for that. So she was considering that. And while she was researching that on the internet one day, advertisement popped up out of nowhere. She don't know, just all of a sudden, you know, just advertising orange, yellow, bright, like pay attention to me. And on the advertisement, it was asking questions like, do you have this situation? Do you have this going on? Are you having problems breathing? Have you been recommended for a lung transplant? Well, guess what? We can help you. And we can help you with all natural medicines and this and that and the other. Now, most people would think there's no way. Because if the medical establishment has been working with you all this time and they can't help you, and the only thing they have left for you is a lung transplant, then to believe that somebody can come to you and tell you about some ancient herbs and that they can use to help you and this and that, and the other people say, there's no way. But because of the way that we think, my sister and I, we thought, wait a minute, what do you say? What's going on? Okay, well, okay, because we know that, like they say, everything we need is in the earth. And we understand the power of herbs and things of this nature. So it's like, okay, well, we'll give it a try. Only thing you have to do, he told her, all you have to do is take these pills 5 pills 3 times a day. Just don't miss any, you know, whatever. She ordered it. It's $1,000 a month, right? Which $1,000 a month on a 6 months regimen, where by 6 months you should be good, right? So $6,000 sounds like a lot of money, but when you realize that one drug, like my sister was getting, was like $3,000 a month, right? So, you know, this is the whole course, $6,000, and it's not a situation where you're locked in. Like once you agree, you have to go through the full 6 months. No. They said, going by how you know, how your progress is. Okay, my sister started taking these herbs. What was it, beginning of May? Yeah, in April, whatever. Within 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the most, my sister's condition had totally and completely turned around. This is a woman who couldn't breathe, who was using her inhalers, her emergency inhalers like they were candy. She was having all sorts of throat issues. She'd hardly be able to talk because, you know, her throat is so raw from using those medications. And as soon as she started taking these herbs, and that's it, that's all, her whole situation flipped around. Now my sister is out here doing things that I never thought I would see her doing again. Never. And I'm saying this was not something that took months. It took weeks.
Yeah.
It took weeks. And see, most people wouldn't even believe that's possible. That's what I'm saying. And if we were like most, she would, I don't know what situation she would be in right now. You see? So when I say it's about what you think and how you perceive things, that can make the entire difference, you know, in your health and in whatever. Perception is everything. What do you believe is possible? If you don't think it's possible, then no, it's not going to be possible. And I know the guy, and it's from, and let me tell you, in case anyone has someone with the respiratory issues, it's called the WE Institute, WEI. It's on the internet. The guy that we dealt with, his name is Ryan, wonderful person, because he had family members that were, you know, having illnesses, respiratory illnesses and issues, and he wanted to help them. He helped them, his family members. And then, you know, once you help your family, you want everyone else to be helped. And so that's why, you know, he got into this. But I'm telling you, it's like that's my sister's second miracle. The first miracle was her cancer, which we made a cannabis oil, and it killed all her cancer in 2014. It's never come back again. Perception is reality. What you believe is possible is what makes things possible. Because then that determines how you react, how you know, go forward based on your belief system, what you think is possible and what you think is not.
That is so true. It's what you, I used to, well, and I still say what you know is a knowing, not even a belief, because in belief is a lie. You have to know. And if you know that miracles or all things are possible, then all things, it just is. All things are possible. It just is.
Exactly. And once I think we get that really understanding, internalize that really, you know, whereas in every day when you wake up, you realize anything is possible. And it's not like, because we're so used to saying things like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. I said, no, you don't do this and you don't do that, but it doesn't mean you can't. And there's a big difference between I don't do something and I can't do something.
Audrey, would you agree with saying that would be an example of the placebo effect?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always use the placebo effect as an example, because that right there is a perfect example of quantum mechanics, right? Because you're saying someone can be healed because of what they think. It's a perfect example. And Joe Dispenza has a book out called You Are the Placebo. You are the placebo. It doesn't have you are the placebo. I'm like, exactly. It's us, you know, and we have got to empower ourselves with that knowledge, you know, with that information, so that we can use it, not just to know it. It's not just about, oh, I know this. No. We got to put it into action. This is our time. This is it. There's no more waiting. There's no more in the future. The future is now. It's now. Look at your AI. We have a future in which AI is they're right around the corner to being at your local grocery store. It's right around the corner for the artificial intelligence to be a part of your everyday life. And if you just only look at that, you're going to be just totally and completely obsessed with technology, because you've never seen anything like this on this level. But I'm saying, no, that is not the highest level. That is not what you need to be impressed with. You need to be impressed with the things that you are capable of with your mind that AI cannot touch. I don't know AI that can astral travel. I don't know. Maybe they can. I don't know. I've never heard of AI saying, oh, I would love to astral travel. But you can, and I can. We might not, but we can. You see, that puts us on a different level of anything that's created by man. I don't care how strong, I don't care how big, it does not top us unless we say it does. And if we say AI is smarter than us, then okay, then you're going to live your life where AI is smarter than you, and there's nothing you can do. Because, you know, that's the thing I hear a lot of people say when they try to tell them about these things. They'll say, oh, I don't want to think about it because there's nothing we can do about it anyway. You know, and if that were true, you would be right. But that's the most untrue statement you could ever make, to say that there's nothing we can do about it. That's crazy. There are all these empowered people, and there's the only reason there's nothing we can do about it is because we say there's nothing we can do about it. And so we don't do it, but it doesn't mean we can't do it. That's the big difference that I just want to drive that point home. It doesn't matter what it is. It's not I can't, it's that I don't. And for whatever reason you don't is your own reasons, and that's fine, but you have to understand that you can, whatever, right? I mean, I started to understand the only difference between me and my boss, who's a quantum physicist, is that he knew he could be a quantum physicist, and I didn't. I didn't know. Now I know. Because I could have been anything I want. I could today. I mean, it's like everything is open. It's like, what do I want? And that's the only question I need to ask myself. And then I just go down that road and I make it happen. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. And we all have the ability to do it on a large scale, on a small scale. It doesn't matter. Once you do it, and you recognize you can do it, then of course you want to do it more, you want to do it better, you want to do it bigger. So you feel
Audrey,
yeah.
how do you feel about melanin and quantum physics? Like, how do you think melanin affects the quantum world?
I think melanin is a very, very, very important part of quantum physics. And that's what I'm saying, because I try to keep focused on what I'm talking about, because if I go off into it's because everything is connected to me, right? And everything I'm studied down to like its smallest the unit of measure, or whatever you want to call it. And I have studied melanin, and melanin and quantum physics go together like hand and glove. Now, why do I say that? Because melanin, if you read the scientific papers that they have written about melanin, one of the main things that they say that stood out to me is that they call melanin the most mysterious substance that they've seen. It's very mysterious. And I'm like, how can something that's in all of our bodies be that mysterious? But it does things that it's not supposed to do, be able to do, or they didn't think it could do the things that it does, the properties that it has a quantum field of superposition, where it's like it can do so many things in your body. It's the only conductor of energy, the only one biological conductor of energy. So when you go on, because when you see, we'll get into melanin, because when you go back to conception, your melanin cells are some of your stem cells. Once again, the cells that can be any cell in your body is made from melanin cells. I mean, it's all in your body. I don't know, we can go really deep into that, and it just is what it is, but it's amazing because they're using it in so many ways. For space, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but they are coating spaceships and things in melanin in order to block it from the rays, radioactive rays that are damaging. But now they're finding that, to go into space, they need melanin. And so it's just, it gets really down the rabbit hole when you start talking about that. But it is what it is. So any other questions, I mean, I don't want to just be here lecturing.
Hey, Audrey.
Yeah.
I just put a question in the chat, but let me go ahead and ask, where are they getting the melanin from to cover these planes?
Oh, see, she want to keep going down that rabbit hole. See, you want to keep on going. The only place you can get melanin is from people that I know of. That's the only way I know how to do it. That's the only, I don't know. I'm not gonna, get off into my conspiracy theories. because I have plenty, but I try to stay, I try to stay in the, scientific things that I can prove, things that I know, when I'm talking about these things, because there are a lot of things that I believe are happening. I can't say for sure, but when you add these things up, just like the question you just asked, well, if they're using it, where are they getting it from? Good question. Good question for another Zoom meeting, and get our tinfoil hats on, and then we can talk about that. Yeah, absolutely. It's an amazing thing. It really is an amazing thing. And I definitely believe that quantum physics and melanin have a connection that we're not aware of, most of us. We just need to dig deeper. That's all. It's all there for us. The information, the connection are all there. We just have to put the pieces together like a jigsaw puzzle. Anything else? Ladies. Let me look in your chat. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Oh, yes. A close family member has called these UFO orbs forth during, yes, absolutely. I know a guy, what was his name? I'm sure some of you may know him. He's a guy that would call forth the orbs, and they would come, and I forgot his name. Yeah. That is a miracle. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Miracles can manifest as a result of our own actions. Absolutely. Absolutely, they can. Yeah. Where are they getting? Oh, yeah. Which from all the, well, I'm just saying, it's got to come from somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, so that's a lot. This is kind of what I want to touch on. Ladies, I'm going to leave you, keep you here for too long because I know everyone is busy, but I just want to put this on our minds. Just to, like I said, it's about us changing the conversations, not just here. I'm talking about with each other, whomever you meet. We have to change the conversation and get people to start focusing on who we are, what we're capable of, where we came from, all of these things. We have to keep talking about it and talking about it for those that are here for it to hear it. That's what I say. So this is why I'm constantly talking about it, but I'm not just talking about it. I'm actually manifesting things in my own life to, and trying to get better at it. Oh, I am getting better at it every day. And I'm encouraged when I see others that are doing the same. So I encourage you guys to keep connected. The only one I can say is TikTok, because that's where I found my people, but if it's not TikTok, it's got to be something that keep feeding your mind so you can understand this and we can start using this together, bringing these energies together to change this reality that we find ourselves in.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Oh. Okay. So that was just to you. But anyway, so well, if you ladies don't have any more questions or comments about
I wanted to make a comment real quick. First off, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. We appreciate it so much. I'm gonna be real brief. Let's bless Audrey. She gives freely, she talks freely, she shares freely. So let's share freely with her as well. Send her some Cash App. Just bless her. It's Cash App, $ Audranite, AUDRANITE 777. And also go to her website at audranite.com and check out her pyramids and get you one. There have been many, many testimonies of healing, love manifestation, and many other things just through having her fiber optic pyramids in the home. So be sure to get you one of those as well. Thank you, Audrey, for being amazing.
Oh, you are so welcome. You know what I think I'm gonna do one time? I'm gonna get together a Zoom call and I'm gonna have people who guide my pyramids and told me these stories and let them just tell the stories themselves.
That
You
would
know,
be
no one can tell it better. You know, because here's the thing: we're living in a time where there's so much deception and false prophets, and you know, all of these things going on. That I say at this point, it's like, you know, the proof is in the pudding.
yeah.
You know, I mean, you got to see it, and I understand it. Seeing it, believing is seeing, but seeing is believing, and that's why I like for people to tell their own stories and how things affected them, and so that people say it's understand it's not just me. These things are real, and we have the ability to tap in. So let's tap in.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be awesome.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for coming and listening to me talk about this again. We're going to be getting together again soon and getting more into the melanin issue, because I think it's very important for us to understand what's happening and you know, have differing opinions. That's fine, but just have some, you know, information to back up the things that you say. That's what I like, because we all have opinions, but you know, certain things are not just opinions. They're actually things that are happening, going on. So check into those things.
Absolutely. Also, real quick, Audrey, I just want to ask everyone, when you receive your link for the next meeting, make sure to invite 3 to 5 people to come and join the call. Because I know you know some people that need to hear this information as well.
Yep. And I definitely put them up on YouTube afterwards, you know, so it's not a big deal for me. I love talking about this stuff. I think it's so important. I just think that I was put on that project, that quantum physics project, for a reason.
Say the video again. What is your channel on YouTube?
AudreyKnight.com. I mean, Audrey Knight, yeah, on YouTube. It's just Audrey.
Okay.
Really simple. Yep. So you can go on there. You can direct people if they want to see what we were talking about, you know, to my YouTube channel, and there we will be.
All right. Awesome.
Okay, then. Thank you so much, ladies, for checking in, and I will see you next time.
All right. Shalom.
Thank you.
You're welcome.